Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video to the channel. Welcome to one of the first videos we're going to do at the brand new updated Daily Scape overhaul. So I went through the video yesterday where I went through the news post, which was quite extensive and went through all of the different things. If you haven't seen that already, there'll be a link in the corner of the video and the description for you guys to go and check out. We basically go through all the things which have been changed through the overhaul and the things which are good, the things which are bad, and the things which they kind of got wrong, which we've already had one cold fix already. We'll see if we have any more over the week. Now we're 16 minutes off maintenance, so let's see if we can go and get this video cracked out. We're going to go and have a look at the red sandstone and also the crystal sandstone flasks as well. Now, if you didn't know before, these were capped materials. You could only get so many of these. I think it was roughly about 100 of the red sandstone and about 50 of the crystal sandstone as well. And what these will be turned into are potion flasks. Red sandstone will be turned into the standard potion flask and the crystal sandstone will be turned into the crystal potion flask. Now, the limit for these have now been removed, but they are apparently quite slow to go mine. And the thing is that I think they've been panic sold and oversold as well to a point where they're a bit too cheap. Now, in terms of the potion flask, I bought 1,000 of these last night for 1,000 coins each. And I just think it's a bit too cheap because the thing is, yes, you'll be able to get the sandstone, but the whole process of turning the sandstone into the crystal flask is still very finicky. You still need to blow the flask, which is very, very slow. As you can see, they have stabilized a little bit to 4.6k, which is nice. Again, I just bought them yesterday and I just thought they were just too cheap for what use they have in the game. As well as the fact I just don't think they're going to be coming in the numbers. Also to a point as well, they are a little bit of a decent flip, 1.1k each. I can sort of think that 4.6k is also a bit too cheap. We'll see over the next couple of months on what the price stabilizes at. But yeah, I just think it's just a little bit too cheap as well. Now, the crystal flask has always been notoriously cheaper than the potion flask. It's just because the uses of them are a bit more limited. And you can only make the combination potions. But 980 GP for this kind of, in my opinion, means I wouldn't recommend it. I think from mining it yesterday, I would roughly guess around 500 to 750 in terms of per hour. You're going to be able to get this sandstone for. But in terms of mining the sandstone is still the same as what it was before. You're going to need level 81 mining to do the red sandstone. Now, to mine the red sandstone, you don't need to do the first resort quest. I think it's to make them into flasks you do. But at one point, the first resort quest was needed to actually do red sandstone. The crystal flex sandstone, which you can also do at level 81, you do need Plague's End, but that is only to get to finish. That is pretty much it you need to do. So, in terms of where it is, it's still the same place as where I was before. If you go to the Orglog Lodestone and then run east, this is going to go to the Red Mine Sandstone. Now, there is one in the desert, but unless you've done some of the desert diaries to where the heat doesn't affect you, it's kind of not worth it, and this is pretty much the better of the ones. Anyway, so what Jagex said the point of releasing this was is that this was going to be a lot slower to go in mine. So like I said earlier, I did do a little stint of this yesterday just to test it out, and that led me to sort of checking the price and stuff, because when I saw that it was only buying for 1,000 coins each, that's what made me sort of think, well, this must be so much easier to do now. But not really. It's kind of still the same as what it was. You have a stamina bar for this now, but because there's no sort of like stone spirits or anything, you can't auto replenish it. So it's going to be one of those where you're going to have to pay more attention than what you think, even though the stamina bar goes down generally quite slow. So the reason why I think that the potion flasks are going to be more than 1,000 coins, or to the point where they are now, is it's still quite a finicky process. Now, beforehand, what you had to do with this crystal sandstone is go to the glass making machine here. It turns out, and I don't know if this is an update they've done just recently, is that you can now use the Supermate glass spell to turn the red sandstone and crystal sandstone into the molten glass and crystal speckled molten glass to then blow into the flask. So that's actually really nice. It means that you're not having to run back and forth to the machine. It's a lot easier. You can simply do it when you're at the bank. But as you can see here, we've had a little bit of a chat now for probably about 2-3 minutes. And we've only really got about 7 of these. So it's not something where I'd recommend like you to do as a full AFK, because it's not really a full AFK. It's kind of one of those where you're still going to have to pay a bit of attention to and do it. And also as well, I just don't think that the GP per hour you're going to make for it is going to warrant doing this method. And whether the demand for this picks up over time and people realize that there's a lot more to this method than what they think, and the price for flasks go up because people don't actually do this, I think that's possible, because I think a lot of people only really did this method simply because it was really good GP and it was only a limited amount a day. The limit on how many you could make protected the price, and because the price was high, that's what made people do this. I do think that potion flasks over the next sort of couple months might be a little bit of a sleeper of something which is going to get more and more expensive over time, because I think the amount which will come onto the Grand Exchange will be less and less unless you've got people specifically wanting to do this method for whatever reason. Like you can see here, this is slow. We have only got 11 of these redstone. Now, in terms of the rest of the process, once you've mined these, that is just part 1 of part 3 to go and do this. So we now have to go and turn this into the robust glass. Now, before, you had to go and crawl through here and use this robust glass machine. I actually thought you still had to do this, which would have made this way more like long than what it needed to be. So you could go and use this glass machine. There's only 2 in the game. There's one here and there's one in Prif. And you'd have to run back and forward to the bank. However, thankfully, we now have the ability to use Super Glass Make. Again, didn't realise this had come in at any point over the past couple of years. It might have been in the game a lot longer than what I thought it was, but I've not seen it being able to be used for this. But this is a lot better because you can go and do this standing at a bank, and you can process your glass a lot quicker. Now, what I would recommend is simply just buy the Astral Runes and get an Elemental Battle Staff. For about 2 mil, you're going to have the ability to save on all of these runes, which will rack up over time, especially if you do other spells as well. But Super Glass Make should hopefully turn this into robust glass. So that is part 2, turning it all into glass, which with the spell is incredibly quickened than what it used to be. But then after that, you need to go and blow these into the flasks. So now, this is where you do need a completion of a first resort. You also need level 89 crafting to do this as well. So you do have some requirements to it, but again, this was always a higher tier money making method as well. Now this is the bit you kind of miss as well, but blowing glass isn't the quickest either. So to actually make this potion flask for 4,000 coins, you need to mine the red sandstone at an awfully slow rate. You need to then go and turn them into glass. Admittedly, this has been greatly improved by being able to use the Super Glass Make spell. And then finally, you need to go and blow them as well. Now, I have made these 11 potion flasks probably in about 4 to 5 minutes, and that's being a little bit optimistic as well. And we've made 79, 80,000 coins, which we know is not correct because they sold for 4.2. So let's say we made 50,000 coins. If we were to times that by 12, because we've sort of spent 5 minutes to do this, let's actually go 15. Let's say we did it in 4 minutes, and we'll say, you know what, we'll times that 5.15 per hour. That only means at a minute, the potion flasks, as a very, very rough estimate, are only going to make 750k. They've kind of really dropped the ball here. But I think because it's going to be such a bad way to make some GP now, because you're going to get the sandstone so slowly, and the price isn't worth people doing the extra effort, I think these will go up in price because people will need them. The PVMers will need them to go and take their potions as a 6 dose because it means they're prolonged in terms of their trip. It means they've got more potion doses while they're doing their PVM trips as well. And eventually the stock of potion flasks on the Grand Exchange will get less and less, and that will cause the price to rise. Now, would I go and buy any of these now? Probably not. Let's see what they settle out over the next couple of weeks. Market Watch will pick these up to sort of say, like, look, this is where I think they are. I'm going to put another lowball offer in. I think I got very lucky with those 1,000, and I really wish I capitalized and made some more. But these potion flasks do have quite a harsh buy limit. You can only buy 1,000 every 4 hours. So I probably wouldn't have been able to get too many. But I think it's a really good thing to go and put some lowball offers in. I'm probably going to put one in around 2.5k. And if they buy, they buy. If they don't, they don't. But I think over the next couple of months, these could possibly go up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I just think there's just too much effort which goes into a potion flask currently to sort of like compare to the demand of what people would want on a Grand Exchange to be that price. I can imagine they'll probably go to their mid price of like 7-ish K. I don't think that like the 10,000 coins we used to be will ever be like a price they'll go back to. But I do think at the price they are now, they are undervalued. But I'd like to know what you guys think. Crystal, on the other hand, I know we're not really covered Crystal. I just think they're too cheap. They weren't very expensive when they were caps anyway. They were roughly about 1.5, 2,000 coins. Potion flasks are the one which was quite a high price. We saw them go all the way up to about 15, 16, 17k over the past 6 months before they got absolutely nerfed as well. However, this is probably one of the first ones in terms of the Dailiescape overhaul where I think they've missed the mark a bit. The red sandstone just needs to be a little bit quicker to make it worthwhile and to get sort of a sandstone into the game which we had before. But we're going to go cover some other things. I think there's some other things they've mentioned in the game and they've changed which are going to be significantly better and going to be a lot better for us to go and check out as well. But they're going to be coming over the sort of rest of the week. We're going to try and aim for double uploads again for this week. And then because Haven Hive was released next week, that is also going to be a week of double uploads. Really hope you guys are looking forward to it. Let me know if there's anything out of the daily overhaul you guys want me to cover. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you guys once the update is finished. It's just the routine maintenance. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.